days after Bangladesh Chief Advisor Mohammad Yunus advocated the extension of the Chinese economy around the strategically important Northeast India region. New Delhi has terminated the transshipment facility for Bangladesh export cargo, a move that will disrupt Bangladesh's trade with several countries. MEA said it's because of cost factors. But at the end of the day, this will mean that Bangladesh's exports to Nepal, to Bhutan, possibly even to Myanmar will be impacted. That's the big message coming in from India, that you mess, you will get a reply. You try and talk something about the Indian sovereignty, there will be a strong rebuttal coming in. And now that this is going to stop, China is not going to come and help Bangladesh fix this problem, is it? Which is the biggest message that India is trying to send here. Let's get in Veena Sikri, former High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh, to talk more about this. Amir Ullah Khan, who's an economist, will also join us to talk about what the impact of this is going to be, the impact of the transshipment facility being stopped on the Bangladeshi economy in terms of the extent it will hurt Bangladeshi exports, is the question I'm going to put forth to Amirullah Khan. But Veena Sikri, come in there. I want to ask from you that what is the kind of messaging do you think this sends to Dhaka after it made those very objectionable claims about Chinese extension all the way till Northeast India?
Well, yes, I think that the remarks made by Professor Mohammad Yunus while speaking to Chinese businessmen in Beijing, those were completely objectionable. I mean, he had the absolute gall to treat Northeast India as though it belonged to him, you know. And he said that we control the access of Northeast India and we are the guardians of the oceans for them. So he's inviting the Chinese to come and use Northeast India as an extension of the Chinese economy. This was completely unacceptable. I tell you, this was a remark for which he should be really making a very deep apology for, you know, making this kind of remark on India, which is completely uncalled for. And well, I think that the decision of the government of India on the facilities for transshipment that had been given 5 years ago to Bangladeshi exporters, which was a very valuable facility for them, a transshipment where they could use Indian ports and Indian customs posts, get their products into India and then export it from India using Indian airports and Indian facilities, which had really hastened up their exports, which made them, deliver their exports on time, which was a great importance for them because their own ports in Chittagong and Mongla and Dhaka airport, they're really overcrowded and there's a tremendous sense of delay in exporters who have to meet very tight deadlines. So certainly this decision will affect Bangladesh exports, but we've been very careful that it should not affect trade within South Asia, and we've made it clear that.
But you know, this is the classic playbook, isn't it? Playbook response, which is that a message that was so objectionable from Dhaka, questioning India's sovereignty, has been responded in a manner that hits home the hardest without upending the diplomatic ties, which are going through a sensitive phase.
Yes, I think it is a very correct response. You're quite right. We've made the point very clear, and I think the Bangladesh exporters should really listen to this lesson and realize that there are no free rides on this. You cannot make these very nasty comments about India's northeastern states, about their involvement. And to tell you more frankly, under Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, India and Bangladesh had reached very specific agreements about access by Northeast Indian states' goods to Mongla port and to Chittagong port. And this was a very valuable decision because it meant that, you know, from Calcutta, Mongla port is just a day's shipping. And then from there, you took the riverine route to reach Northeast states in just a couple of days, 3-4 days. And similarly, for Chittagong port, the access for the Northeast is through Tripura. And there's a bridge that has been built on the river Feni to allow access into Bangladesh through Tripura. And from there, Chittagong port is very near, just about 75 kilometers. But the Bangladesh new regime, which is not even a constitutional regime, completely illegitimate regime, has been taking its own decisions on not respecting earlier agreements, government-to-government agreements between the governments India and Bangladesh. So this is something that is completely unacceptable. First of all, they're not even in any position of authority to take
Indeed.
decisions on this because it's an interim regime and they should wait till the election results to see what the Indian government would want to do.
Nobody knows when those elections are going to take place, but they're holding the promise of a democratic transition soon. Veena Sikri, I have to leave it there. Thanks much for joining me.